wish you a wonderful, happy birthday and a very auspicious beginning for the next year for you. And I pray that Srimati Radharani, floods your life with all auspicious blessings. And we are celebrating Radhastami here today. So today is Radhastami here in the US. Um, so it's exactly right day for us to celebrate it.
Okay, that's good.
And it's very nice, like even your name, like that's the name of Radharani's mother is Kirtika, and your birthday happens to be on this day when it's the day when Radharani's mother is having the best celebration. It's quite auspicious and amazing, and and I want to appreciate all this effort and energy you're giving to the Lord's service, and it's quite inspirational. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your blessings, Prabhuji. Really
So
appreciate.
you can hear, right, clearly my voice?
Clearly, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So maybe we can mute the other channels so that there's less distraction. I'm just going to mute them. Yeah. Okay. And I'll share my screen. You can see my screen, right? Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna.
the International Society for Krishna Consciousness was founded by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is also known as the Hare Krishna movement. And we all know that the Hare Krishna movement is aimed to spread the love of God, pure love of Godhead all over the world to every person, regardless of background, language, caste, creed, nationality, anything like that. So we're grateful to Srila Prabhupada to have done all that, and it is up to us to continue in his service to try to push forward this movement and to share the glories of the Supreme Lord and his internal energy. So we know Hare Krishna means God, and Hare means his internal energy of the Lord. So I will read one verse from Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 9, verse number 13. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritimashita bhajantyananya manaso gyatva bhutadimavyayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Purport. Srila Prabhupada explains, in this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. How is this effected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put...
We can't hear you. Is it me or is it everybody?
Is it breaking up?
No, I can hear him just fine.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu,
Can everybody
we
hear
can hear
Prabhuji?
we can hear you clearly, Madan Gopal Prabhu.
Okay, thank you.
We
Yeah,
can hear you. Yes.
I think Kirtika Mataji, your voice is breaking up. Maybe your connection might be a little weak. It's possible. So being marginal potency, as soon as a living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Devi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains the stage of great soul, Mahatma. This is a section from the purport that I wanted to read. So please keep this in mind. The Mohini Prakriti, which is the material nature, and the Devi Prakriti, under whom the Mahatmas, the great souls, take shelter. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamshcha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesh Shunyadi Pasha Deshtarine. So, we know that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Energetic Person. Energetic means he has energies. So, there are two distinct energies of the Lord. One is called the Mohini Prakriti, the deluding illusory energy. If you refer to the verse previous to this one, Krishna talks about those who are the fallen souls or those who are the rebellious souls. They take shelter of the Mohini Prakriti. Moga Asha Moga Karmano Moga Gyan Vichechasa. Rakshashim Asurim Chaiva Prakritim Mohinim Ashrita. Those who are of the Rakshashi or the Asurim, the demoniac inclination, they are forced to take shelter under the deluding illusory energy, which is the material energy of the Lord. It's called the Mohini Prakriti. This verse we talked about Mahatmanastu Mahapartha, right? Mahatmanastu Mahapartha, Devim Prakriti Mashrita. Devi Prakriti. This is the internal divine energy that Srila Prabhupada refers to in the purport. So, the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, has a meaning. Srila Prabhupada gave the clear meaning of this prayer. It's a prayer that we're praying, O Lord, who is all attractive, that is Krishna, and O energy of the Lord, who is Hare, please engage us in your service. So, note that we say the word Hare before Krishna. This Hare refers to the Devim Prakriti, the divine energy of the Lord. Mother Hara, also known as Radharani. So when we call in the vocative form, when you're calling someone in the Sanskrit, if you want to call someone by the name of Hara, you say Hare. If you want to call Radha, you say Radhe. So like that. So Hare is a vocative form of Hara. And so that name Hare refers to Srimati Radharani herself. So notice that we first call out to Srimati Radharani and then we call out to Krishna. So this is the mantra consisting of both Radha and Krishna's holy names. So of these two energies, the Mohini Prakriti and Devi Prakriti, they are both persons, these energies. Remember that. Mohini Prakriti refers to Durga Devi. She is the personification of the material energy, and she keeps everybody imprisoned in this prison house of the material world. Devi Prakriti is the internal divine energy of the Lord. She has nothing to do with the material world. She is eternally in the spiritual world, in the heart of the Lord. And she is the pleasure potency. So she is the one who orchestrates all the pleasures of the Lord. She is also the personification of the mercy of the Lord. You know, there was a question, sometimes some people may ask, is God male or female? And some people can speculate that God must be male because to control and to have the power and to have the assertion, authority, managing and creating so many universes and so much powerful responsibilities, generally that is a male's traditional role. So God must be male. And then some may think that actually no, because the primary characteristics of the Lord is to be understanding, to be soft-hearted, to be compassionate, to give care, to give love, and those are generally considered feminine or female characteristics. So God must be female. But in actuality, God is both. And that's what we learn. That's why we worship Radha Krishna. That's why we say Hare Krishna. That the absolute truth consists of both male counterpart and female counterpart. Because both have those aspects, the massive and mighty aspect as well as the caring and compassionate aspect. So, once there were some students and they were asked, some boys in the class, and they were asked, who do you like more? Mother, who do you love more? Your mother or father? 90% raised their hand, said mother. Only 10% raised their hand, said father. And they asked, why mother more? Because the mother is a lot more lenient, a lot more in touch with the feelings of the child. The mother is constantly meditating on the welfare of the child. The mother is, she understands the heart of the child, what they're going through up and down, generally much more than the father. Mother takes care of the feeding also, and so many aspects of care, nourishing, growth, and so on. So naturally one is more affectionate toward the mother. So similarly, it is also understood that Srimati Radharani is also constantly worried about us, just like a mother worries about the child. Of course, Krishna also thinks about us all the time. But remember, Radha and Krishna are not separate. They may appear separate, but they are pretty much one and the same. But they manifest different aspects of care and affection. Different levels of compassion and mercy, they're different flavors. So the Devi Prakriti, she is the energy to whom the great souls approach and under whom the great souls are taken care of. So shelter is always required. No matter what, all living entities must have some shelter. It is not possible. Even if someone thinks, I have no shelter, I'm free, independent, that person is under the care and shelter of Mohini Prakriti. Even a jailhouse is a form of shelter. It's just a jailhouse, but even there is shelter. Food is given, everything is given there. But it's not the best. It is not the ideal situation. The ideal situation is when one is free and is a proper shelter of his family, living in a proper house, and free to do what they want, free to exchange love and affection with their friends and family and so on. That is being liberated and living under the care of Devi Prakriti. So Devi Prakriti is Srimati Radharani. So who is Srimati Radharani? So like we mentioned, she is the female counterpart of Godhead. There's no question of Radharani without Krishna, and there's no question of Krishna without Radharani. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada always emphasized that when we worship Krishna, then Radharani deity must also be there. ISKCON temples, we have Radha Krishna deities. She is beginningless and the eternal consort of Lord Krishna. Beginningless because there was never a time when Srimati Radharani was not there. It's not that one day Krishna was thinking, I'm kind of lonely. Maybe it should be nice to have, a female with me. So then he created Srimati Radharani. It's not like that. She has no beginning, just like Krishna has no beginning. She's eternal, and she is always the consort of Supreme Lord. She doesn't think of anybody else other than Supreme Lord. And she serves him all the time. How? She is the Hladini Shakti. Hladini means the pleasure potency of the Supreme Lord. Because the Lord has a number of energies and potencies, you can call them. So Hladini Shakti is Srimati Radharani. And she is considered the best devotee of Krishna because she loves him the most. This is Srila Prabhupada's own words. Why is Srimati Radharani best devotee? Because nobody loves Krishna more than she does. And it is under her guidance that all the other gopis also love Krishna and serve Krishna. And it is under the guidance of the gopis that our entire parampara, our acharyas, we are trained to follow the footsteps of the gopis and serve Krishna in that mood and understanding of the gopis. The essence of our Krishna conscious philosophy is Aradhyo Bhagavan Vajeshatanaya Taddhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasta Vajavadu Vargenaya Kalpita. That Aradhyo Bhagavan Vajeshatanaya, that Krishna, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda, he is the one to be worshipped. And how to worship? How to worship Lord Krishna is in the footsteps of Vrajavadu. Vrajavadu are the gopis of Vrindavan, of whom the topmost gopi is Srimati Radharani. So she is really our topmost guru, guide, and shelter, and how to approach Krishna, how to serve, and whatnot. So she is the best devotee of Krishna because she loves him the most. Now Srila Prabhupada explains the Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion, if you're familiar, it's a very important book in the Krishna conscious movement. Srila Prabhupada said you must read at least these 4 books. One of them is Nectar of Devotion. So Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada says, to perform devotional service means to follow in the footsteps of Radharani. And the devotees in Vrindavan put themselves under the care of Radharani in order to achieve perfection in their devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada clearly outlines this in Nectar of Devotion. In other words, devotional service is not an activity of the material world. It is directly under the control of Radharani. In Bhagavad Gita, it is confirmed that the Mahatmas or great souls are under the protection of Devi Prakriti, the internal energy Radharani. So being directly under the control of the internal potency of Krishna, devotional service attracts even Krishna himself. So now if you remember that verse we read, 9:13, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada does not mention the name Radharani. But when we go to the more advanced book, then Srila Prabhupada gives an extension of the purport. He explains. See, he says Bhagavad Gita is confirmed. Mahatmas, they take shelter of Devi Prakriti. So he's referring to that verse. Right? And he names Radharani over here. So that is how we understand that verse refers to Srimati Radharani. So even though Radharani's name is not mentioned explicitly in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions it implicitly or in a hidden way, that she is Devi Prakriti. And the great souls, Mahatmas, they work under her shelter. They work meaning they serve, devotional service. And when we do that under the direction of Srimati Radharani, then we can achieve perfection, and that devotional service is so powerful that it attracts even Krishna himself. Krishna, who is all attractive, he gets attracted by devotional service. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who is our great-great-grand spiritual master in the Parampara, he's also the father of the Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Srimati Radhika is the teacher of the mellow of conjugal love. The pure love between Radha and Madhava is meant to be discussed and contemplated. In other words, it's important for us to understand when we see Radha Krishna deities, we understand that there is love between them, that, Radharani is the best devotee because she loves Krishna the most, the best, and so on. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur said it's important, or it is meant to be contemplated. Then one may ask, why then was Srila Prabhupada so reserved and grave in speaking about Radharani? If you look around, there's not that much Srila Prabhupada spoke in public about Radharani. He didn't get into too many details of the love between Radha and Krishna. Even though Bhaktivinoda Thakur said it's meant to be discussed. But Srila Prabhupada didn't do it so much. He did mention it and he did explain it, but he didn't do it a lot. Why is that? One is because by neophytes who are very materially conditioned, the pure spiritual relationship of Radha Krishna can easily be misunderstood because it resembles this normal, love between a boy and a girl, regular teenage love that you see in this world, because it resembles so closely. So one may think that Radha Krishna, the love between them is similar to that. And that is a hugely offensive misunderstanding. And because the tendency is to think like that, Srila Prabhupada was very reserved, making sure that, just don't go about in huge publicly discussing these details unless the person has really understood the gravity and the spiritual nature of Krishna and Radha. If one does not understand this correctly, then there is strong risk of becoming what is called sahajiya. Sahajiya means one who takes this very cheaply, and they can even start to imitate. Oh, some sahajiya people, they dress as women, some men will dress as women, I'm also a gopi, and they'll take it very cheaply while they're not following any principles or anything like that. So this has happened in the past quite a few times in history. It's just the nature of, the corruptible human mind. And so to prevent that also, it's very important to not take this lightly or cheaply. And of course, the proper respect must be offered to the confidential nature of the special relationship between Radha and Krishna. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada kept it very grave and reserved. Srila Prabhupada explains, similarly, when we are engaged by regulative principles in the worship of Radha Krishna, that is called Vidhi Marga. Vidhi means Vaidhi Bhakti. Vidhi means this system of following regulated worship with strict rules and regulations. That is called Vidhi Marga. And actually, when you are on the love platform, that is called Raga Marga. Raga Marga means the platform of spontaneous loving service, where the rules are not that important. So without Vidhi Marga, if anyone wants to learn the Raga Marga immediately, that is foolishness. Prabhupada says that is foolishness. Nobody can pass MA exam without going through the regulated principles of primary schools and colleges. So similarly, it's very important for us to first understand very deeply and in a very realized way who is Radha and Krishna, what that love means, what that love on spiritual platform actually means. And in a conditioned stage, the process that's required is Vidhi Marga. It's kind of like learning to ride a bicycle. When you're first learning to ride a bicycle, it's very easy to fall. So lots of rules. You hold the handlebar like this, keep your back straight, make sure you're looking forward, pick up speed very gradually, like that. So there's a lot of rules and regulations. But after one becomes expert in riding bicycle, there's so much expertise and it becomes so spontaneous there's no thinking about the rules. In other words, the mind is not focused on, okay, keep the back straight, hold the handlebars. Sometimes even some experts, they can just ride the bicycle without even holding the handlebars. They're fully in control because there's so much expertise, so much spontaneous, there's a lot of enjoyment. That person will not fall. Both are riding the bicycle, but in the beginning stage, it's very important to ride the bicycle with the rules and regulations. Doesn't mean that in the expert stage that the rules are not followed. There's still basic rules are still there, that you have to maintain your speed, you have to maintain uprightness, otherwise you'll fall down. So those things will remain, but they happen spontaneously without much thought behind them. So that is the rough analogy of how to understand Vidhi Marga and Raga Marga. Ultimately, our goal is to have so much natural affection that the Vidhi Marga takes a back seat, or the rules and regulations take a back seat. But before that, we must be very careful and follow all the rules. If we think we have become very advanced and we can skip some rules, or we can bend the rules, we can break the rules, then that is called niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means either you're just following the rules for the sake of following them, or you're ignoring the rules thinking, it's not important, or you don't need them anymore. And that can destroy our spiritual life. So it's important for us to have this Vidhi Marga strictly followed. Means chant Hare Krishna, follow 4 regular principles, wake up early, worship the deity, take guidance from advanced devotees, take guidance from spiritual master, and so on. That is Vidhi Marga. And gradually the affection, spontaneous love will develop in the heart. So therefore, Sri Prabhupada says, I do not indulge in the discussions of Radha and Krishna so easily. Rather, go on with the regulative principle at the present moment. Gradually, as you become purified, as you become on the transcendental platform, you will understand what is Radha Krishna. That's important. You see, our purification is very important. So in our Vidhi Marga stage, it is very, very important for us to focus on our own internal purification in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so now this is a lecture that Srila Prabhupada gave on Radhastami. I want to see if I can do that. Just going to find that lecture. I have it over here. You can kind of follow along. If you can hear.
And Krishna is the origin of Vishnu Tattva. And he is pleased through Radha. Therefore you don't keep Krishna alone. No. Radha Krishna. What's Radha? So that day is today. First you have to worship Radharani. If you go through Radharani, therefore in Vrindavan you will see all devotees. They will address one another. Jai Radhe, still. Because they know that if Radharani is pleased, if I can please Radharani, Radharani is presented, the original pleasure potency, always absorbed in thought of Krishna. So anyone who comes before Radharani to serve Krishna, she becomes so pleased. Here is a devotee of Krishna. She immediately comments, Krishna, here is a devotee. He is better than me. This is all. I may be not devotee. I may be most fallen, rascal. But if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then my business is successful. Therefore, we should worship Radharani first. That is our business. Instead of offering directly one flower to Krishna, you just put it in the hands of Radharani. My mother Radharani, Jagannatha, if you kindly take this flower and offer to Krishna. Radharani says, you have brought a flower. Krishna said, Patra Krishna Bhayanti Anjini Bhakta Praditsati. But don't try to offer Krishna direct. Just offer to Radha. It will be very much appreciated by Radha. So, this is our philosophy to please Krishna through Radharani, and this today is the auspicious day of Radharani's appearance. So you should offer Pushpanjali and pray to Radharani that Radharani kindly be merciful and tell about me to your Krishna. To your Krishna. Krishna is your. Krishna, Radha and Krishna. Krishna is not independent. Krishna is Radharani's property. So you have to approach Krishna through Radharani. That is, today is the auspicious day. Worship Radharani very nicely and be happy. Thank you very much.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So it's quite wonderful and amazing what Srila Prabhupada says. And some couple of things that stood out from this, how kind Radharani is. He says, I may be a not devotee even, I may be a most fallen rascal, but if I try to reach Krishna through Radharani, then my business is successful. Therefore, we should worship Radharani first. And then at the end he says that actually Krishna, we should pray to him that be merciful and tell about me to your Krishna. To your Krishna. Krishna is yours. And then Prabhupada explains that Krishna is not independent. Actually, Krishna is Radharani's property. So here we learn the internal secret that actually Radharani is the boss of Krishna. Krishna is the property of Radharani. So this very intimate internal secret Srila Prabhupada has given us. This is a lecture he gave on Radhastami in 1973 in London. September 5th, 1973. So with that, we can stop here and we can have some discussion if you like. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Can I,
Prabhuji, can I please ask a question first, because my internet is not stable and it will go away anytime.
Okay.
So when we offer things to Lord Krishna, we do it through Guru or Nityananda or Sri Prabhupada, or whoever is Guru, according to our Guru Parampara. So now you have told that we have to now offer it to Radharani to give it to Krishna. So we are now confused. At least I'm confused now. Whom do we first offer so that we can offer it to Krishna? Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. It's a good question. But say like if you are doing altar worship, we offer, right, the flower to the Guru Parampara like that first, and then we offer to Radha and Krishna like that. There's sometimes system explained like that, or you offer to Krishna. But generally, the idea is that you cannot go to Krishna first. It has to go through Radharani. So we take the permission of Guru and then we offer it to Radharani like that. But ultimately, the mood is that we are assisting our spiritual master in serving Radha Krishna. So we serve Radha Krishna, they are the worshipable lords. And when we get to the point of serving Radha Krishna, we offer through Radharani at that platform. So, like even that bhajan is a Radha Krishna Pran Mora Yugala Kishora Jivane Marane Katina, Arana Himora. So in that bhajan also, he's offering this tambula and chamara and offering a throne and so many nice things. But at that point also is Radha Krishna. So Radha first, Radharani first, and then Krishna, like that. So certainly both are valid.
Okay, Mataji, please. Sorry, I interrupted, but I've been cut off 4-5 times already.
no, you know why? I think when question answer time comes, a lot of our participants, they leave. Already Usha, I don't know who she was, she left. I would like to thank Daksha Lodhia from Eldoret who is with us, Aisha Leela and Narmada from UK, Shama, G. Prakash Antadhan from Kisumu, Lawrence and Rosa and Govinda Prem from Nairobi. So last minute invitation and they're there. So I'm really grateful and thankful. So now the question time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I can see Govinda Prem Dasa Prabhuji's hand is raised. Kindly proceed to give your question.
Hare Krishna, Madangopal Prabhu. Thank you very nice for your nice talk. I was just remembering how Srila Prabhupada's father used to pray when anyone used to say that, can you please bless my son to be a devotee of Srimati Radharani? And
Yes.
also Srila Prabhupada wrote a song, Jadi Radharani Kushi Hobe. So I was just thinking, because we have many people from the Vedic background on this class today. Why don't you explain a little bit what is the difference between Radharani and all the other devis that people worship? Because in Hinduism, people following from Vedic background, they might just think that Radharani is equal to Durga, or. So why don't you just speak about the difference so that we can get to know?
Yes,
Thank you.
It's a very good question. And Govinda Prabhu, I wish I could see your camera, see your face. I hope you're doing quarantine.
My internet is not very stable, Prabhu.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome back. Never got a chance to speak to you in person since you came back from India. But it's good you made it back nicely. And thank you for that question. It is a very important point to understand the supremacy of Radharani. Before we talk about the supremacy of Radharani, we must understand the supremacy of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So sometimes someone may say, why Krishna? Why is the Supreme Lord? Well, because from Krishna, everything comes. Krishna is the original, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So all the different gods that we learn about, we call them demigods, sometimes we call them devatas, different names. So we learn about them through the Vedic literatures. And the Vedic literatures teach us that, Vishnu is God, Brahma is one of the gods also, Indra is one of them, Lord Shiva is one of them, then we have Durga and Kali and millions of others. I'm not exaggerating when I say millions. In fact, hundreds of millions. A more precise number is 330 million. It's 330 million demigods or very highly empowered beings. All these different demigods, Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, Durga, Ganesh, Kartikeya, so many, they are all empowered by the Supreme Lord Krishna to perform their duties of the management of the material universe. But the Supreme Lord himself lives separately in his own spiritual world, spiritual planets, spiritual world which is independent from the material world. It is superior to the material world. So because he is the source and the cause of all causes, and he is the supreme, there's only one supreme. All those other gods and goddesses, they are servants to Krishna. So that is very important distinction to understand. And this information is found in the Vedas themselves. Someone may say, oh, but in the different Puranas, like if you go to Shiva Purana, why does it say that Shiva is the supreme? If I go to Devi Purana, it says Devi Durga is the supreme. Then in your Purana, you say Krishna is supreme, so you worship Krishna. I understand. My Purana is Shiva Purana. Let me follow my Purana. Why are you bugging me? But actually, if you read all the Puranas holistically, the author of the Puranas is one, Vyasadeva. And he himself has given the description of which Puranas are superior and which Puranas are inferior. He himself said those who are less intelligent are very materially motivated. For them, these Puranas, which only emphasize the demigod worship, I've written it for them. But when someone becomes a little smarter and understands that there is a higher purpose in life than material enjoyment, selfish enjoyment, for them, these highest Puranas I've written, the purest one, Bhagavad Purana. So the author himself has explained how to understand. Therefore, we can very confidently, clearly, and objectively come to the conclusion. Objectively means without having any kind of bias, because my family tradition to worship Shiva or to worship Ganesh, without any kind of bias, scientifically and objectively, if you observe, you will realize that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And we just learned that Srimati Radharani is the boss of Krishna even. That's the hidden secret. So Radha and Krishna are actually inseparable. They are one and they're also different. Therefore, all the other Devis that we find, like Durga Devi, Kali Mata, even Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi, who is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. All the different, there are many Lakshmis, by the way. Lakshmi Sahasra Sambrama Sevimahanam. Sahasra, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Sahasra Shata. So all these hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis, they are all expansions of Srimati Radharani, the original internal pleasure potency. And so to expand the pleasure of the Lord, Srimati Radharani also expands into many Gopis, and then the Lakshmis are expansions of Radharani. And then similarly, the other energies or the other Devis that we find are also ultimately, they end up being empowered expansions also. So they are all servants of Radharani. Therefore, the original Devi is Srimati Radharani and the original Deva is Krishna Deva. And therefore, they are worshipped as the highest and everybody else is to be understood to be their servants. This is not something that is based on a biased opinion or an emotional attachment to a particular form of worship or tradition. This is something that is found in the Vedic literatures, in the Puranas, and explained by the author himself. And so we can very confidently make this claim. And if anybody is interested in getting into the depth of it, they're definitely invited to go and study Srimad Bhagavatam and the Brahma Samhita and other such literatures to understand how the details work out. That is a high level understanding. Thank you, Govinda Prem Prabhu. Is that good? Is that
Perfect.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So then in continuation with that, so then our understanding is that in Kali Yuga, we are also interested in material kind of a life. That's why for us, we just live in this low Puranas, right? That Ganesh is God and Durga is goddess, yes? Is that because of the effect of Kali Yuga? Because we are less intelligent?
That is one of the effects, certainly. However, this phenomenon of less intelligence is pretty much an eternal phenomenon. It becomes more prominent in Kali Yuga, for sure. But even in previous yugas, it was there. Basically, anybody whose intelligence has been stolen by desires to enjoy matter, they end up worshipping the demigods. Kamaistaistair hita jnana prapadyante anya devata. Kamaistaistair means the material desires, selfish desires. Their jnana, hrita. Hrita jnana means it has been kidnapped, apaharan. Their knowledge, intelligence has been kidnapped by material desires. They end up worshipping prapadyante anya devata. They propitiate. Not even worship. Worship is one aspect of it, but if you translate directly, you can say worship or prapadyante. Prapadyante can also mean to try to appease them. Not with a motivation to please them, but to appease them so that they will give me something. You see, the motivation is mine, selfish. Not that I'm not worshipping, this Devi so that she'll be pleased and to serve her as just out of my pure affection. No, the motivation is selfish. My motivation is that if I do this vrata for Ganesh, then I will get all my obstacles for my business will be removed. Right? If I do this vrata for Saraswati, then I'll get good marks in my exams, like that. So the goal is not to please the person we're worshipping. The goal is to get the selfish result. And that we'll find, that is the critical difference. Whereas those who are devotees of the Lord, they serve the Lord to please the Lord exclusively, not something selfish.
So that, in other words, is karma kanda, right? That I want something, that's why I'm worshipping so and so.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. One may, That is true. And however, one may also worship Krishna for material gain. See, a lot of people do. You know, you go to Balaji temple in South India, people, they give a lot of donations, they worship everything, and they pray. May my business, my Lord, make sure my business goes very well, make sure my daughters all get married nicely, and so many things. But they are still different from those who worship the demigods because they have at least approached the Supreme. And when you approach the Supreme will give you the favor of purifying your desires. Like Dhruv Maharaj approached the Lord for material benefit. But because he approached the Lord fulfilled his material benefit, but he purified him. He elevated, he upgraded Dhruv Maharaj's consciousness so much beyond his desire for material benefits. See, at that point, then Dhruv Maharaj said, "Oh, I made a huge mistake, my Lord. You know, you have given me, your darshan is like diamonds, and I've been asking for broken glass." So then the Lord gives us that clarity also. So even if you approach the Lord full of material desires, nothing wrong with that. It is not the highest level of devotion service, but it is the recognition that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And that is very useful to elevate us. So it's not that, it's not that we should, you know, if you want grades, good grades, you go to Saraswati. No, even if you want good grades, you go to Krishna only. That's it. Yes.
So do we go through Radharani with the new light that I want good grades, Radharani? Please tell Krishna. Or do we go to Krishna directly?
Well, whenever you approach Krishna, generally Krishna and Radha together, right? So when you go to Radha Krishna temple, you bow down to both of them, and then you can tell, you know, Radharani, please forward this request to Krishna. That's tradition in most places anyway. That is generally the tradition. If I want to ask my father for something, my father is a big man, I go through the mother, I want to ask my dad if he can give me this much money. Mom, can you ask for me? So that's the general natural tendency to do. So whether we go for a pure motive to serve the Lord or to accept us as a devotee, or we go for impure motive to make us rich or make us powerful or make us successful in material life, still it is recommended to go through a proper path of worship Radharani. Now, the Lord and in conjunction with Radharani will purify us. When we chant the name of Radharani in the form of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is very purifying. Not recommended to approach the Lord for material things, but if you have something in the heart, you should not go anywhere else. You should go to Radha Krishna for sure. We should not leave Radharani out of the equation in any transaction with the Lord. Let's just put it that way.
Any more questions?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your wonderful class, giving a philosophical views of Radharani. We are so grateful for your lecture. One question is that, Prabhu, if Radharani, we know that when Bible was explanation in different books and scriptures, the eternal potency of Lord Krishna, and we supposed to be worshiping Radharani for Krishna's mercy, because without mother's blessings, mother's permission, we cannot get the blessings or the good things from my father, our father. But the thing is that the Sada Goswami, they don't, when they are establishing temples in Vrindavan, they don't establish Radharani deity. They are establishing only Krishna deity, and they worship Krishna. And what is the difference between the Goswami's philosophy and now in the Prabhupada's mission? So can you please explain?
Yes, that's a good question. I'm not familiar about the reason why the Radharani deity was not put with, but if you look at the Madan Mohan temple, right, in Vrindavan, it's called Radha Madan Mohan.
Many temples in Vrindavan.
Right, and also like Radha Govindji. So even in those cases, Radharani is mentioned there. And like Radha Govinda temple, the Radha Govinda deities, now they're in Jaipur, originally in Vrindavan, right? So there's Radharani there also. So at some point Radharani does come. But I believe that it's only a matter of time before Radharani came. It's like the deity of Krishna came and then Radharani manifested later on. But always the name of Radharani was there in the temple. Like Radha Govinda Mandir was there. Even though Radharani is not there, sometimes the name is always there. No one, it's never only the name of Krishna is not alone by itself. Now, I am not familiar with why the six Goswamis only put the deity of Krishna in some of those places. All I know is that at some point in our Sampradaya, the deity of Radharani also became manifest in those same temples. I don't know, unless maybe Govinda Prem Prabhu or Mansi Ganga Mataji has some more insight on this.
Can I add something? Can I add something here? Prabhuji,
Rachna is there.
Yeah. Can I just wanted to my little understanding, what I see, Radha is very much a part and parcel of Krishna. So they are one. And then to explain to us, he manifests as two, as separate. From one, he divides to Radha and Krishna. Then again, he unites to become Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then again, as part of his own Leela and desire, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he expands into 5. Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanand Shri Advait Gadadhar Srivasadi. So it is just his Leela. And for mere mortals like us to understand whether he's one or two. So wherever the Acharyas and Goswamis have just put Radha's feet, a little better sort of a thing there, and it's the main deity is Krishna, because Radha is in Krishna. And they just show it separately as Radha Raman and all, for us to understand that Radha Rani is also there. But she is in Krishna. She's part and parcel of him. He is one with her. And then he divides into 2, and then again he merges into 1, and then from 1 he divides into 5. This is to my little understanding. Yeah.
Also, Prabhu, I heard today that Radharani is very shy. Even when she is cooking for Krishna, she is very shy to go and serve Krishna. She will sit in the jikoni, in the kitchen, and see Krishna from far. So I just heard somebody's bhav today saying that she's very, very shy. So maybe that's why she has not been there before in other temples, in historical temples, maybe. I heard, I saw a hand raised by a Prabhuji, Antardhan Prabhuji. You wanted to say some reflection, Prabhuji? Antardhan Prabhuji? Okay. Over to you, Madan Gopal Prabhuji.
Yes, so the deity of anyway, Radha Krishna are generally worshipped in the worship of Radha Krishna was established in our parampara quite early on. I would say it became very prominent with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's grand spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master was Ishwarapuri, and Ishwarapuri's spiritual master Madhavendra Puri. It was Madhavendra Puri who really emphasized the importance of worshipping Radha Krishna in the deity form. And so since that point, it became very prominent in our Sampradaya. And then, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then consolidated that whole philosophy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is Radha Krishna himself, themselves coming to one. That's the history. But of course, Radha Krishna are always worshipped eternally. Sometimes their worship becomes prominent, sometimes become visible in certain ways, sometimes it's only like Radha Raman deity, only the Krishna deity is visible sometimes, but Radharani is not visible. So like you said, it could be manifestations. So these are different pastimes when the deity chooses to show and not to show, and where they decide to move due to the pastimes. Then they moved, like Radha Govinda ji moved to Jaipur. So that's part of the pastimes. I think it's Gopal Bhatta Goswami who established Radha Raman deity. Sanatan Goswami established Radha Madan Mohan deity, like that. So all the different Goswamis did, and they did put the name of Radharani along with the deity. And of course, even if you look at Shad Goswami Astakam, right, they would cry out to Radharani, Hey Radhe Vijadevike Shanadike Lalite, Hey Nanda Sunukuta. Like this is part of their prayer, that they would call out to Hey Radhe first, then where are you? Hey Nanda Sunukuta, then oh young son of Nanda Maharaj, where are you? So like that. So Radharani, even in their prayers, Radharani comes first. That was always very prominent. And so what can we take home from this discussion is that when I take up my beads to chant Hare Krishna, let me get in the mood that Srila Prabhupada emphasized in his lecture. What is my prayer when I'm chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? That my Lord, you please accept me. But, my dear Radharani, Jagan Mata, the mother of the universe, you are our mother in that sense. So you please recommend me to the Lord that, I'm not a great devotee, I'm hardly even a devotee, but I'm trying to approach you. Please purify me. Please make me qualified to serve the Lord. The Lord may not do it, Radharani, but because you're so kind, I'm coming to you with this petition. So if we develop that, say, mood or atmosphere in our heart, and then we start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can invest more of our heart, more of our emotions, more of our consciousness in the proper mood of serving the Lord and recognizing the Hare in the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the Hare in the Hare Krishna movement. They'll please Srila Prabhupada and they'll please Srimati Radharani, and ultimately we'll then get pure devotional service and love of God. Okay. So thank you very much for giving me this time, and we look forward to joining again sometime. Hare Krishna.
You're thanking us when we should be thanking you. You're sacrificing your lunch time to be with us. Thanks a lot, and thanks everyone who have joined also. It was a wonderful session, Madangopal, as always.
Thank you. You are our favorite.
Madangopal is fasting full day.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just fasting half day.
And fasting half a day and feasting the rest of the day is allowed.
Thank you.
Over to Path Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful class, the glorification of Srimati Radharani. We are so grateful to you. In a short period, you will supposed to give your time, to precious time to us. We are so grateful. We also thanks to all the devotees who joined in the Zoom class. We pray to the Lord Krishna and Radharani, Srimati Radharani, to shower the blessings on all the devotees who joined in this Zoom class. Also the same who are not also joined, they join and they quit. Also shower their blessings so that we can progress in the spiritual path. For glorification of His grace, Madangopal Prabhuji, please chanting Hare Krishna Mantra 1. Please join with me. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama, Hare His Grace Madangopal Prabhuji ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Vanchakalpa.
Vanchakalpataruchya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much all. Thank you very much all. A happy Radhastami to all of you. So tomorrow is supposed to be Prel and Radharani to giving you energy so that we can progress in Krishna conscious moment. Tomorrow from morning up to noon there is a fasting. After that feasting, so you can enjoy the Krishna Prasadam. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Antardhan Prabhu from Kishomo. Wonderful session. Very nice, very good.
Rachna, thank you.
Thank you, Mansi Ganga Mataji. Thank you so much.
I thought I saw you and then you left.